learning to Nishmas Etta Ahuva Basakim Masaches Kelim Perik Daled Mishnah Gimel. Ezohi Gistera. So this is a related really to the last Mishnah, where the last Mishnah started off by saying that by a chavis that becomes weak, the shear is one thing to make it tar, but by a gister that becomes weak, even a smaller amount that it can't be mekabel mashkin already makes it ois gistera. We said because ein mevian ein oimrim have a gistera legistera. So on our Mishnah says ezehi gistera, what's considered a gistera and what's considered a chavis? Kol shenatlu azna. Even if the kli is shalim and the only thing it's missing is the handles, it's already then has the din of gistera, and therefore if it becomes weak and it's not able to be mekabel mashkim, it will be tahar. Mishnah continues. Hayuba, a new subject. Hayuba chidudim yotzim. Let's say on kli cheres broke, and on the top, when it breaks, it doesn't break exactly even. So you have some areas which are higher than lower. So the top of the kli looks like teeth. So the Mishnah tells us that Kol hamekabel ima zeis bezeisim. If between each chidud, we'll call it between each tooth, zayis can't fit out of it, so then mitama b'maga, that chelek has a din gistera that it's mitama b'maga. B'maga means only touching the inside of it, because klicheres is never mitama b'kaboy from the outside. Uchenegdei mitama ba'aver, and also it could be mitama ba'aver, meaning it's lav dafka the fact that it's mitama b'maga. The chiddush is that it's even mitama ba'aver. It has a din of klicheres that it's mikabel tumo me'avirei. However, kol she'ena mikabel ima b'zeisim, if the chidudim, the teeth, are very spread apart from each other, so much so that a zayis could fit out of it, so then, mitama b'maga will be mitama b'maga. The Rash says mitam yad. It has a din of a yad of a kli. However, ein kinegde mitama ba'aver. It's not considered like a gistera in itself to say that it's mitama ba'aver like the din of a kli cheres. Same exact halacha, yamuta al tzida kimin katara, if the broken piece is on its side. And again, you have different air spaces in between the broken part on top. So kol mekabel ima bezeisim, if the zayis can't fit out of it, so then it's mitam maga v'chenegda mitam ba'aver. Kol she'ena mekabel ima bezeisim mitam maga v'ena chenegda mitam ba'aver. The Mishnah ends off, shulei karfiyos v'shulei kusim hatzidoiniyim. The base of these kelim are different than what we've said previously. Why? Because afal pi, karfiyos is a place. Afal pi she'eni yecholin leishev shaloi misumachim. Even though they can't sit without leaning. Again, we said in Perik Beis, Mishnah Beis, which is our Mekar of Gistera, that it has to be able to be Yoshvin Shalom Musumachim, and over here it can't do that. But over here, Tameim, it still is going to be Metama Mitayas Gistera. Shalakach Nasum et Chilasan. They're made like this originally. The Rash says, Yesh ben Malchiyah is halalu. In these places, there are Mekaimis that Shakderish and Mevashlim, but Ein Yoshvin B'loi Smicha. It's impossible for it to stand unless it's leaning against something else. You put it on some sort of tripod. Even when you take it off, you lean it on something else. But it's not a standalone. But since that's the derech over here in this case, so then it could be metama miteres gistera. Mishnah Daled, kli cheres sheyesh le gimel safias. You have a kli cheres that has 3 rims. So there's a rim in the inside, and then around that is an outer kli, and then around that is even an outer kli to that. Hapanimius defes hakol tar. If the innermost rim is the tallest one, so then everything is tahar, meaning the outside ones are not going to be mitama midin toich kli cheres. However, hachitzonoi defes, if the most outer rim is the one that's the tallest, so then hakol tamei, everything will become tamei midin aver kli cheres. Huadin hem tzoyis defes, if the middle one is the tallest one, so then mimen will lifnim tamei, the in part of it is going to be mitama miteres teich kli cheres, but mimen will lechutz tar, outside that is only not going to be mitama miteres teich kli cheres. Hayushavas, let's say all the rims are the same height, no rim goes higher than the other. The outer rim is the same height as the middle rim and the inner rim. That is a machlekes tanar. Rabbi Yehuda omer cholkin. You would split the space in between. According to the Chachamim, hakol tahar, everything would be tar. It wouldn't have a din of teich klicheres, similar to the first case where the panemius were the tallest. The Mishnah ends off with a basic halacha of klicheres. Klicheres me'emasai mekabel tuma. At what point in the making of the klicheres is a mekabel tuma? Mishi yitzarfu bekivshan. From when it's put into the furnace and it's formed. V'hu comes hard over there. V'hu gemar melachtan, and that's its gemar melacha. The Gemara in Beya, Daf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph, brings a brisa where a mayor over there is chaylik and says that it's already mitama mishas gemar melacha when it's in the potter's hand, even before it's put into the furnace, because at that point it's already roy to be mekabel something inside of it. And Rabbi Yeshua is the Tana of our Mishnah that says that's mishi yitzarfu bekivshan.